Hi everybody, and once again welcome to my channel. And in this video I'm going to continue with the solution of that checkpoint paper 0862. In the part 1 I have solved this 0862 paper 2, okay, and it was from April 2023, okay. Now, in the previous video, I had solved question number 1 to question number 14, right? And I told you that in the second part, I'll be continuing with the remaining questions. So, in this part 2 of this video, we are going to start from question number 15, okay? So, let us get started. So, question number 15 says that find the equation of the graph. Give your answer in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. Now, you can see here clearly that now one thing you should know, that in this format, that is y equal to mx plus c, okay, this m is nothing but the slope of the graph, okay, and c is nothing but the y-intercept of the graph, okay. So you can see this is the graph and the y-intercept is 6, okay. It is cutting, the graph is cutting the y-axis exactly at the point 6. So y-intercept has to be 6, okay. So c is equal to 6. And slope, if you want to find out slope will be y difference upon x difference, okay. So now see here, I want to warn you students, okay, because normally what happens is, this is a very silly mistake that the students make, because they are not very much they don't have the clarity of the concept, okay. Now slope of any graph is given by y difference upon x difference. The formula says that slope is equal to y difference upon x difference, okay. This is the formula for the slope. Now what the students they do is, I'll tell you what happens is, the y difference, they suppose they take these 2 points, okay. So the y difference will be this 6 and 0. So they take y difference as 6 minus 0, 6, okay, and then divided by x difference. So on the x-axis you can see it is from 0 to 3. So they think the difference between this is 3. So they write here 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. So they directly write the answer as 2. Okay, the slope answer they write as 2. This is not correct. This is incorrect. Okay, if you want to follow in this way, then do one thing. After getting the slope value by this way, okay, then have a proper look on the graph. Now this particular graph, now let me tell you something about the slope of the graphs, okay. Suppose in the coordinate grid, okay, think of a letter A, right? Now if the graph is somehow coinciding with the left hand side of this letter A, okay, that is, it is leaning forward, right, then such graphs have positive slope. This will have a positive slope. And if the graphs are of this direction, okay, they are in this direction, okay, like this, okay, this means they are leaning backward from the x-axis, okay, this angle will be obtuse. Here this angle will be acute. So if the angle made by this graph with the x-axis is acute, then the slope is positive, right? But if the angle made is obtuse, then it will be negative. Now here you can see this graph is making an obtuse angle with respect to the x-axis. So the slope has to be negative, okay. If it was making acute angle, the slope would have been positive. So you have to assign the value by looking into this factor, okay. So if you are doing by this method, okay, so y difference upon x difference, you got 2. But now by looking for the sign, you will come to know that this has to be a negative slope. So you will put a negative sign. So slope you don't write directly as 2. Okay, it will be minus 2. Or to avoid such a blunder, okay, what you do is go by the conceptual meaning of the slope. Slope is equal to y difference upon x difference. So what you do is, you take any 2 points on the graph. Let us take this point. So this point, the coordinates will be 0, 6, right? The x coordinate is 0, the y coordinate is 6, okay. And another point, you take this one, okay. Here the coordinates will be 0, 3, isn't it? So these are the 2 points, okay. So the points are, say this is your A and this is your B. Okay, so A is having coordinates 0, 6 and B is having coordinates 0, 3. From here you take y difference. Okay, so y difference will be either you take 6 minus 3, this is y difference, upon x difference you go this way only from here to here. Okay, so it will be 0 minus this is 0, 6 and this is 3, 0. Okay, so sorry, this is 3, 0, right? So y difference, if you want to see, though, you go from here, 6 minus 0 will be 6. 6 minus 0 will be 6. Okay, divided by x difference, you go from here, start from here only, from point A to B. Okay, so 0 minus 3 you do. So 0 minus 3 is minus 3. So see, now you will get the answer as minus 2. The slope answer will get as minus 2. So remember, if you want to find out the slope of any line, okay, don't just see the distance, okay, and divide and blindly say that that is the answer. Okay, that can be the answer, but whether it is positive or negative, that should be ascertained. Okay, if you are taking the distance only. But the right way of doing is you take any 2 points, okay, take the 2 points as A and B, suppose, and then take the coordinates of those 2 points, and from those coordinates you find out the y difference and then divide it by the x difference. That will give you the answer along with the sign. So if you see now, even if I could have taken these 2 points, okay, this point and this point, right? Now if I take this point and this point, okay, so the slope could have been this way also. Same slope I'll get. Okay, now this point, what is the coordinate? Now the coordinate is 1, 4, right? And this point, what are the coordinates? It is 2, 2, right? 2, 2, right? Now suppose this is say M and this is N, right? So these are the 2 points. Okay, now from here y difference upon x difference will be, so y difference will be equal to, suppose I take 4 minus 2, okay, divided by x difference. I'll have to start from this only. Okay, don't take 2 minus 1, okay, that will be wrong. You take 1 minus 2. Okay, see, for y difference you started from M and then you subtracted the y coordinate of N. So y coordinate of M minus y coordinate of N you did here, okay, in the numerator. So in the denominator for x difference also you should do the same thing. So for x difference you have to take the x coordinate of M minus x coordinate of N. Okay, so see, I have taken x coordinate of M as 1 and then minus x coordinate of N, which is 2. So 1 minus 2. 1 minus 2 is minus 1. Okay, and 4 minus 2 is 2, and 2 upon minus 1 is minus 2. The same slope I got as 1 minus 2. Okay, this is a silly mistake that most of the students I have seen doing. Sometimes, you know, they don't understand the concept and they do this mistake, right? So anyways, from this we came to know that y intercept is 6 and the slope, okay, that is represented by M, will be how much? C is 6 and the slope M is equal to minus 2. These are the 2 things we got. Okay, now put these values into this equation, so you will get the equation of the graph, and that equation will be y equal to, okay, y equal to minus 2x plus a 6. Okay, so this is the equation of this graph. I hope you have understood this. Next question is question number 16. The first term of a sequence is minus 0.7. So let me write minus 0.7, the first term of the sequence. Okay, the term to term rule of the sequence is multiply by minus 1 and then add 0.5 raised to 1. Okay, so this is my first term. If I multiply by minus 1, it will become 0.7. So my second term should be first term multiplied by minus 1. So that will become 0.7, and then I have to add 0.5 raised to 1. That is 0.5. So my second term has to be 0.7 plus 0.5, that is 1.2. So my second term will be 1.2. That will let me go for the third term. Third term will be what? It will be second term, that is 1.2 multiplied by minus 1. So it will be minus 1.2. Second term is 1.2. So rule says that you have to multiply the term by minus 1. So minus 1.2 and add 0.5 raised to 1. Now when you do this, minus 1.2 plus 0.5 works out to minus 0.7. So my third term is minus 0.7. Getting me? Now the fourth term will be in the same way. Now third term is minus 0.7. Minus of that will be 0.7. To that, when I add 0.5, it will be 1.2. So fourth term also by this rule, I am getting 1.2. So my fourth term will be 1.2. So I am getting a kind of a sequence where the alternate terms are becoming equal. So minus 0.7 the first term, third term is also minus 0.7, and the fifth term will also be minus 0. So all the odd terms, are going to be minus 0.7, and all my even terms are going to be 1.2. That is what I can see, right? Now show that the sum of the first four terms of the sequence is 1. Now these are the first four terms of the sequence, okay, so far. So the sum of this means you'll have to add this two. So minus 0.7 plus minus 0.7 will be how much? Minus 1.4. Okay, and you have to add this two also, 1.2 plus 1.2. So 1.2 plus 1.2 is 2.4, and when you add these two, okay, the answer will be 2.4 minus 1.4. okay, so it will be 1. Okay, so basically the sum of all the four terms, okay, is equal to 1. So that is what he has told you to show. Okay, so we have shown it. Okay, we have taken these four terms, we have found the four terms, and we try to find out the sum of these four terms. So first I found the sum of the odd numbers, odd values, okay, that is first and third term. So I got minus 1.4. Then I found the sum of the even terms, that is second and fourth, that I got 2.4. Then I added this two, I got 1. That means the sum of all these four is nothing but 1. That is done. Now what is the B part of the question? B part of the question says that the sum of the first 12 terms of this sequence is what? See, now we came to know that the terms are going to go this way only. So first term, third term, the fifth term, and the seventh term, and the ninth term. So all these odd terms are going to be same, 0 minus 0.7. Same way all the even number terms, second, fourth, sixth term will be 1.2. Then the eighth term will also be 1.2. So my sequence is such that all my alternate terms, are going to be same. So first, third, fifth, seventh, all these terms are going to be minus 0.7. And the even terms, that is 2, 4, 6, 8, those are going to be 1.2. That is clear. So if you take this first four, okay, the sum of the first four I got as 1. Okay, now if you go for the next four, so this will be the next four. Okay, the sum of this next four is also going to be 1. Okay, what that means is the sum of the 8 terms, the sum of the first 8 terms will be how much? 1 plus 1, 2, isn't it? Right. So it is going this way. Now by going by that logic, suppose that you want to find the sum of 12 terms. So in the first 12 terms, how many you will get such set? You will get 12 divided by 3. Okay, so 12 divided by 3 is equal to 4. So you will get 4 such sets. Okay, so one set ka addition will be, sum will be 1. Okay, and that way multiplied by 4, because you are going to get 4 such sets. Okay, in 12 terms you are going to get 4 such sets. So 1 times 4 will be 4. 3 sets you are going to get. 12. This way you are going to get 4 sets. Okay, so 12 divided by 4, 12 divided by 4, you are going to get 3 such sets. Got it? In one this thing you have 4. Okay, so if you divide 12 by 4, you are going to get 3 sets. Okay, now the first set ka sum is 1, the second set ka sum is also 1, the third set ka sum will also be 1. So 1 plus 1 plus 1, or 1 multiplied by 3, will give you the answer as 3. Okay, so the sum of the first 12 terms will be 3. Same way, if they ask you what will be the sum of the first 400 terms, so same logic. Now because the total number of terms are 400, that I am going to divide by 4. This will give me 400 divided by 4 will be 100. Okay, so I'll be getting such 100 sets. So one set is having the sum as 1. So 100 sets will have how many? It will be 1 into 100, okay? Or you can go on adding 100 times. One and the same thing. 1 adding 100 times and 1 into 100 is 1 and the same. So the sum of the 400 terms will be 100. So answer will be 3 and 100. Done? Okay. Next question. Question number 17. Now here the question says the map shows the position of a shop S. So this is your shop S and a library L, which is somewhere over here on an island. So this is an island. This is C. So this is island. And the scale of the map is 1 centimeter is equal to 50 meters. Okay. So the scale is on the map. You will show 1 centimeter for 50 meter actual distance. Okay. So that is the scale. Now let us see what the question says. A restaurant R is built on this particular island. So on the island, the restaurant R is to be constructed, and this restaurant R is on a bearing of 130 degree from the shop and 220 meters from the library. Now you should be able to interpret the meaning of this. Okay, what is the meaning of bearing of 120 degree from 130 degree from the shop? So where is your shop? It is over here on the island. Can you see here? So at this particular point, okay, you draw a vertical line pointing out upwards, a direct vertical line, northward direction. So this will show you the north direction. Okay, and you see it is written here, north direction, right? So from the point S, you draw a vertical line upwards in the north direction. This is known as your reference line. Okay. Now from this line, from this north direction line, you have to go clockwise. Okay. And the bearing of how much it is given? Bearing of 130 degree. So from this particular north direction line, with the protractor, you measure 130 degrees. So if you go this way with the protractor, if you come to this point, this will be 90 degree. Okay. So you have to go 130. So 90, so 130 will be coming somewhere over here. At this point, you have to draw a straight line starting from S. Okay, so that I will do for you. So from the point S, okay, yeah, from this point S, this one, the line should pass through this point 130 degree. Okay, can you see that? Okay, fine. So this angle with the protractor you have to do. Okay, now I am not doing with the protractor because I am on the Wacom screen. This is 130 degree, but on the paper, in the examination paper, you have to take a protractor and measure 130 degree and draw this line passing through the point S. This is 130. This is known as the bearing of 130 degree from S. Okay, so the the restaurant is on the bearing of 130 degree from the shop. Now the meaning of this is, on this line that we have drawn just now, the restaurant will be somewhere, okay, on this line only, right? But the restaurant can be here, it can be here, it can be here, anywhere on this point. Okay, so there can be various answers for this, but we want one particular answer. So for that, information is insufficient. So let us go for more information. The other information says that it is on the bearing of 130 degree from the shop and 220 meters from the library. Another piece of information is this particular restaurant has to be at a distance of how much? 220 meters from the library. Okay. So what you have to do is, according to the scale, 1 centimeter is equal to 50 meters, right? And if the restaurant is 220 meters from the library, then to draw on the map, you will have to convert it into centimeter. Okay, so according to the scale, what centimeter this will be, so work out that. So this will be 220 divided by 50, and 220 divided by 50 should work out to, let me see, 220 divided by 50. It's working out to 4.4. Okay, 4.4. So on the map, I will have to take 4.4 centimeters, right? So the restaurant can be anywhere on this line. Okay, at the same time it should be at 4.4 centimeter from the library. So what you do now, you take a compass. On the compass you take the width of the compass as 4.4 centimeter. Keep the pointer of the compass over here. Okay, and or you can do one thing, you can drop a perpendicular. Okay, you can take a yeah, that will be better. You draw a perpendicular from here on this line because it has to be 4.4 centimeter. Okay, so what you do is you drop a perpendicular from here. Okay, drop a perpendicular. That also I'll do for you. Drop a perpendicular, and actually this perpendicular will be exactly suppose this is the perpendicular. Now if you measure this okay, suppose I draw a perpendicular like this. Okay, this line, and it should be on the island only, it should not enter the sea, right? So this particular perpendicular, you know, should be 4.4 centimeter. This should be 4.4 centimeter, right? So this distance, okay, see, the shortest distance is actually perpendicular, isn't it? So we have to see that the from L you should drop a perpendicular, and that perpendicular should be of the length 4.4 centimeter. Okay, so either you take a compass and you keep the pointer of the compass over here and make a arc with the pencil over here. So wherever the arc cuts, okay, there you can join. Okay, so that will be 4.4 centimeter. And to check, if you check, this will be 90 degree. Okay, because always the shortest distance is the perpendicular. Okay, so this is the diagram that you will have to show in here. So restaurant will be at this particular position. Okay, so the restaurant will be on this line also, which is 130 degree bearing from the shop, and also it will be 220 meters away from the library, or on the map it will be 4.4 centimeter away from the library. So this is how you have to show the marking of this restaurant. Okay, right? So position of the restaurant you have to show in this way. Next question is question number 18. It says the graph 2y is equal to minus 11 minus 8x is shown over here. Now let us do a little working. 2y is equal to 11 minus 8x, right? Compare this with the y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, compare this. So if you want to do comparison, first what I'll do is I'll divide this particular equation throughout by 2. Okay, divide by 2. What will happen? Y is equal to 11 upon 2 minus 8 upon 2x. If I rearrange, this will be y equal to minus 4x plus 11 upon 2 is how much? 6.5. Okay. So can you see now I can compare these two, right? Y is equal to mx plus c, y is equal to minus 4x plus 6.5. So I can see that my slope m is equal to minus 4 by comparison. Okay, m is equal to minus 4, and my intercept y intercept c is equal to 6.5, isn't it? Now if you see this graph, okay, you will see that the slope is negative. See, this graph is leaning backwards. Okay, so from the x-axis this angle is obtuse, right? So minus 4 is the negative slope we are getting, and it is minus 4 because this comparison is telling it is minus 4. And c is the y-intercept. The graph is cutting the y-axis somewhere over here. Can you see here? So this should be 5.5, okay, not 6.5. 11 upon 2 should be 5.5. Okay, should be 5.5. So can you see this graph is cutting the y-axis at this point, which is known as y-intercept, which is 5.5. Okay, so the graph you have to understand in this way. Okay, okay, now what he is saying, draw the graph of y is equal to 2x minus 5y is equal to 10 on the grid. So on this same grid, already where this graph is given. Now this is the graph of this line. Okay, this graph that the question is showing you, this is the graph of this one, 2y minus 2y is equal to 11 minus 8x, right? Now on the same graph you have to draw a graph whose equation is this. Now to draw this graph, okay, what you will do, you will have to complete this table. So when x is equal to 0, what will be y? So in this equation, when you put x equal to 0, 2 into 0 will be 0, so you will get minus 5y equal to 10, and your y will be equal to 10 upon minus 5, which is minus 2. So when x is equal to 0, according to this equation, your y will be minus 2. Same way, in this equation, when y is equal to 0, so put y equal to 0 here, so you will get 2x equal to 10. Okay, when y is equal to 0, this thing will become 0, so 2x equal to 10. This will give you x equal to 10 upon 2, which is 5. So when y is equal to 0, your x value will be 5. Okay, now this is giving you 2 points. Okay, x and y, x and y. So the 2 points are, one point is 0 comma minus 2, that is, suppose this is that point A, and another point you are getting is A is this, and B is x coordinate is 5 and y coordinate is 0. Okay, so you are getting 2 points, and 2 points are enough to draw a graph, a straight line graph. Now you plot this point on the graph. So A is 0 comma minus 12, right? So 0 comma minus 12, 1 second, 0 comma minus 2, it is not minus 12, 0 comma minus 2, right? Minus 2. Okay, so 0 comma minus 2 is this point I'm getting. Okay, and so this is my A point, and B point is 5 comma 0, so 5 comma 0 is this point, right? This is my B, 5 comma 0. Okay, this is my A, which is 0 comma minus 2. Okay, so the graph will be the line joining these 2 points. So let me go for that. Okay, so this is going to be a line. Okay, right from here. Okay, fine. So this is my, okay, okay, so this is my graph, right? Actually, by mistake, I have disturbed this PDF itself. Let me redraw it. Okay, okay, I'll have to erase this. Okay. Fine. So what are my points? 0 comma minus 2. So this is that point. One point is this. Okay, another point is 5 comma 0, that is this one. Okay, now if I join these 2 points, then I'll get a graph which should be, okay, should be somewhat like this. Okay, pass to the 2 points, right? It's passing to this here slightly. I'll also raise it. Yeah, now it is correct. Okay, so this graph that I'm getting, okay, this one, this graph, okay, this is my graph of 2x. This is my graph of 2x minus 5y. Sorry, 2x equal, is it 2x minus 5y equal to 10, right? So I have drawn the graph of 2x minus 5y equal to 10. Now C, B part of the question says use the graph to solve the simultaneous equations. Now, if you see these two simultaneous equations, you will see that these two equations, you know, we have already plotted. You have it on the graph. Okay. Can you see 2x minus 5y equal to 10? This equation. Okay. 2x minus 5y equal to 10. You have a graph of that. And 2y 2y equal to 11 minus 8x. That also you have. Can you see this? 2y equal to 11 minus 8x. So both the lines you have on the graph. And if you want to solve these two equations simultaneously graphically, then it is very simple. You just hunt for the point of intersection of the two graphs. So you can see that this is the point of intersection of the two graphs. Okay. So this point, from this point you find what is the x coordinate and y coordinate of this point. Okay. So if you see, the x coordinate will be somewhere over here. Okay. So this is 1, 1.2, 1.4 and 1.6 and 1.8. Okay. So I can see that it is around 1.8 x coordinate. And y coordinate is minus 1, minus 2 and minus 4. So minus 1.4. So this is roughly I am getting as the answer. So these answers are nothing but the solution of the simultaneous equation. So x coordinate, x value will be the x coordinate. Okay. So how much I am getting? 1.8. So x will be 1.8, positive 1.8. And y will be how much I am getting? Y I am getting minus 1.4 from the graph. Okay. Here y will be equal to minus 1.4. So these are the answers. A slight variation can be in the answer. Okay. But this is my answer, right? Let us move on to question number 19. The cross section of a prism is a regular polygon. The prism has exactly 6 planes of symmetry. Draw a ring round the shape of the cross section. Now, somewhere across the solution of this checkpoints, I had mentioned one thing. If a regular polygon is n-sided, okay, if a regular polygon is n-sided, then the number of planes of symmetry that it will have will be equal to n plus 1. Okay, this is the rule. So suppose if it is a 6-sided polygon, regular polygon, so say if it is a regular hexagon, then it will have 7 plane of symmetry. Okay. Going by that, he is saying the prism has exactly 6 planes of symmetry. So when the plane of symmetry is 6, then the n will be 5. Okay. So it has to be a pentagon. So I'll circle this pentagon. Okay, so remember this rule, right? Next is question number 20. A jug is a cylinder with a diameter 14 centimeter and the height of this cylinder, not height, the water in this cylinder is 31 centimeters. So this is the water level up to 31 centimeters. Right. The capacity of a glass. Now I don't know, but glass is not shown, but they have some glass over here. Let us assume that the glass is something like this. And the capacity or the volume of this glass is 315 centimeter cube. Right? This is given to you. Now they have asked you how many of these glasses, so these glasses, how many glasses can be completely filled using the water in the jug. Okay. So basically what you have to do, first find out the volume of this water in the jug. Okay. So that to find out that volume, because it is cylindrical in shape, I'll find the volume to be cross section area multiplied by the height of the water. Cross section area will be pi into radius square. So this is 14 is the diameter. So radius will be 7. So radius square will be 7 square into height. Now height of the water is 31 centimeter. So into 31. So this is my volume of the water in the jar or in the jug. Okay, so I am writing this as Vj. Right. Now let us assume that this Vg is the volume of the water in the glass. The complete capacity, the full capacity of the glass is 315 centimeter cube. Now they have asked you how many number of glasses can be filled with this particular water which is in the jug. Now normally this n number of glasses can be filled. This is the formula. The number of glasses that can be filled will be the bigger volume, that is the volume of the jug, divided by the smaller volume, that is the volume of the glass. Got it? So the number of glasses that can be filled with this water will be equal to Vg upon Vg. Vj is nothing but pi into 49 into 31. Whole thing divided by Vg will be equal to 315. Okay. Now pi into 49 into 31. Let us do the calculation and see how much you are getting. So pi I am taking as 3.14. Okay. So 3.14 times 49 times 31. I am getting the answer as 4769.66. Okay. Divided by 315. Now when I do this division, I'm getting the answer as 15.14. Getting answer as 15.141. So recurring. Okay. So I'm getting this as the answer. So my n should be approximately equal to 15 glasses. Okay. So this is the answer for your question number 20. So how many glasses can be filled up? 20 glasses with this mark, right? So that was a 3-mark question. And now question number 21. Here are some of the inputs and the outputs of a function. So input is x. So can you write f of x is equal to output is 5x. Okay. Right. Now when the input is a, so when instead of x it is a, so it has to be pi into a square. Okay. And this is equal to 180. Okay. So basically you are getting this pi a square equal to 180. Right? A is an integer. Now find the two possible values of the output when the input is a plus 1. So when the input is a plus 1, what should be the output? Okay, so two values you have to find out. Right? So first let me find out the value of a from this. Okay. So 5a square is equal to 180. So a square will be equal to 180 times 5, which is equal to 36. So a will be equal to plus or minus 36, the root of 36. So a will be equal to plus or minus 6. So I am getting the value of a as either plus 6 or minus 6. Okay, that is done. Now I will go into this. F of a plus 1 should be what, and f of a plus 1 should be what if the a values are plus 6 and minus 6. So turn by turn, let me take f of a value first. I will take as 6. 6 plus 1. This will be equal to how much? This will be, now f of a plus 1 should be, according to this, it should be 5 times a plus 1 the whole square, isn't it? It should be 5 times a plus 1 the whole square. So when a is 6, so a plus 1 will be 6 plus 1, 7. That is f of 7. Now this value should be how much? It should be 5 times 6 plus 1, 7 square. Okay. So it will be 5 times 7 square is 5 times 49. Right? And this should work out to how much? Let me check. So 49 into 5 is working out to 240. Okay. So you have to find out two possible values of the output. Okay. So one of the output I got as 245. There can be one more output when the a value is minus 6. So minus 6 plus 1. This will be f of minus 5. Okay. This will be equal to 5 times minus 5 squared. So this will be 5 times 25. And 5 times 25 is 125. So another output will be 125. Okay. So these are the two answers. Find the two possible values of the output. So the two possible values of the output will be 125 and 245. These are my answers. Okay. You can write the answer over here. 125 and 245. Right? This was a question pertaining to functions. Okay. Let us go to the next one. 22. Now 22 says that ABCD is a rectangle. Okay, and this it is 4 by 10.5. So this AD is 4 and this CD is 10.5 centimeter, right? That is given to you. EF is given to you as 6.5 and BF is given to you as 1.6. You have to calculate DE. Okay, so where is DE? This one. This DE you have to calculate. So that is the question. Okay, so this is 4-mark question. So we'll have to do a lot of working. Okay, let me first start with this. Let this be equal to X. Okay, what is that? Here, BE. Let BE equal to, sorry, yeah, BE equal to X, right? This is 90 degree. Can you see this is a right angle triangle, right? So what will be my X? So X squared will be equal to, X squared will, no, I'll write this way, 6.5 squared, applying Pythagoras theorem, 6.5 squared will be equal to, hypotenuse square will be equal to the sum of the other two squares. So 1.6 square plus X square, right? So if I take this over here, 6.5 squared minus 1.6 squared will be equal to X squared, right? Now let me do this calculation. So my X squared will be 6.5 squared minus 1.6 squared, right? And that I'm getting 39.69. 39.69. Okay. So my X will be what? X will be square root of this. Okay. And the square root of that I'm getting as 6.3. Okay. Square root of 39.69. That I'm getting as 6.3. Okay. So I got this X as 6.3. Fine. Okay. Now we have to find out this. Okay. DE we want to find out. Okay. DE we want to find out. Okay. Now what can be done? Okay. Let us try to find out this. That is AE. Now this total from A to B is 10.5. And this X that we calculated just now is 6.3. Okay. So don't you think this will be 10.5 minus 6.3? Okay. This will be 10.5 minus 6.3. So let us work out how much is that. So 10.5 minus 6.3 happens to be 4.2. This is 4.2. Okay. So I am getting AE as 4.2 and this is already 4. Again this is 90. Now this particular DE you can find out. So DE square, again Pythagoras theorem, DE square will be equal to this 4 square plus 4.2 square. Am I right? So DE square will be equal to 16 plus 4.2 square. Okay, 4.2 square is how much? Let us see. It is 17.64. Okay. So my DE squared will be equal to 17.64 plus a 16, which gives me 33.64. 33.64. We want DE. So DE will be just a square root of this 33.64. Okay. So DE will be equal to square root of this 33.64 will be equal to 5.8. I got the answer for DE, 5.8 centimeter. Got it? So my final answer for DE is 5.8 centimeter. Is that okay? Next one is question number 23, and it says A and B are positive integers. A upon B is equal to 0.37 correct to 2 SF. B is a cube number less than 200. Okay. So B is a cube number. Cube numbers, you know, cube numbers means 27 is a cube number. Why? Because 3 into 3 into 3 is 27. These are known as cube numbers. 4 into 4 into 4 will be 4 4s are 64. 64 into 4 is how much? That is also a cube number. 64 into 4. Right? So 4 cube is 4 4s are 16. 16 4s are 64. So 27, 64, all these are cube numbers. Okay, if you go for 5 into 5 into 5, 125. So these are known as cube numbers. Okay, so your B is a cube number which is less than 200. should be less than 200. So all these are less than 200. Okay, so B can be any of these numbers. Now find the possible values of A and B. So let us say B we are taking as 27. Okay, so A upon B is equal to 0.37. They have given you the equation. Now if I take B to be 27, which I can take because he's saying B has to be a cube number less than 200, and 27 is a cube number and it is less than 200. So this will be equal to 0.37. So my A will be 0.37 times 27. So my A can be, by calculation, it will be 0.37 times 27, right? And the answer I'm getting is 9.99. Okay, but see, this is a number 0.37 correct to 3SF or 2SF. Okay, so this also you have to do rounding up to 2SF. This is the 2SF position. So 9.99. If you round it to 2SF, okay, you should get this as 10. Okay, B equal to 10, right? This is 2SF. So your A will be equal to not B. This will be A. Okay. Should be A. So your A happens to be 10 and B will be 27. So this is one possible pair. Okay. So find a possible pair of the values of A and B. So A can be 10 and B can be 27. Got it? You can see one more pair if you want. Okay. So this will have not a unique answer. So one pair is 10 and 27. If this is possible. Another pair, suppose you take B as 125. You can take that because B has to be less than 200 and it should be a cube number. So A upon 125 equal to 0.37. Now in this case here A will be 0.37 times 125 and this works out to 0.37 times 125 is equal to 46.25. I'm getting 46.25. But this should be you should round to 2SF. If you want to round to 2SF, you have to round it till this. Okay, so this is 2 less than 5, so this number will remain 46. So my A will be 46 and B should be, when the B is 125. Okay, so the another possible value is A will be equal to 46 and B is 125. Okay, so that way you can get various answers for your question number 22. Okay, different students can get different answers, right? So two possible answers I have shown you. So that was question number 23 and that's it. Okay, the paper is over. So in this part 2 I have solved question number 15 to question number 23 for you, and paper 0862 paper 2 of April 2023 is completed. Okay, so in two parts I am doing this checkpoint papers for you, right? So entire paper is done now. See you in the next video with some other checkpoint paper. Till then, bye. Take care all of you.